Have you ever wondered what really happens when we die? When this body falls apart, where does the mind go? Is there still a me that survives the final breath? These questions have stirred human hearts for thousands of years. Perhaps you too have pondered them in a quiet night. Welcome, my friend, to Son.Mindfulness. This is a place where we reflect on Buddhism, life, and the nature of the mind, where every story is a mirror reflecting our own journey. Today, we'll explore one of the oldest questions of all. When the body dissolves, what remains? In today's modern world, we have almost everything we could want. Yet deep inside, many still feel fear and emptiness when thinking about death. We have medicine to prolong life, but no pill that can teach us how to face impermanence. The Buddha once said, "Death is not an enemy, it is a great teacher." When we truly understand death, we finally learn how to live deeply. So what is death, really? Is it an ending or a continuation? Is there an eternal soul, or just the stream of karma flowing onward? In this video, we'll journey through 7 chapters of mindful understanding, from the impermanence of body and mind, to karma and the continuity of consciousness, to the moment of dying itself, and finally, to the middle way that rises above fear. You'll discover why understanding death is the key to truly living. If you're seeking peace, if you wish to live with more lightness, if you long to see life through the eyes of wisdom and compassion, then this video is for you. Stay with me until the end, because by the time you finish, you may never look at death with fear again. Don't forget to subscribe to Son.Mindfulness, where we walk together on the path of understanding, letting go, and mindful living. I wish you good health, peace, and lasting happiness. Now, let's begin this journey together. A journey into the timeless question, when the body dies, where does the mind go?
The light is softer.
Part 1. When the body dies, where does the mind go? Have you ever sat quietly at night, listening to the clock tick and wondered, when this body fades, what will remain? That question may sound distant, yet it sits at the very heart of life. No one can escape it. The young may forget, but those who have lived half their lives, like many of you watching now, feel it more deeply. The body weakens, the breath grows short, the memory fades, and suddenly, that question is no longer philosophy. It becomes reality, waiting to be faced. I remember an elderly woman at the temple. She was past 80. After every chanting session, she would hold my hand and ask, "Teacher, when I close my eyes for the last time, where will I go?" Her question wasn't only hers. It belongs to all of humanity. From children watching their parents pass away, to ancient philosophers and modern scientists, all have touched this same mystery. Deep down, we know there is something beyond the physical form. But the Buddha, instead of asking us to believe in heaven or an afterlife, invited us to look within. He didn't say, believe. He said, see. Because the miracle isn't on the other side of death. It's here, in every living breath. If we look closely, we'll see that death happens every moment. Each inhale is birth, each exhale is death. Cells in our body are dying and being reborn every second. Biologists tell us that in just a few years, almost every cell in our body has been replaced. So the you of today is no longer the you of 10 years ago. Then who or what is I? The mind is the same. Notice this. A thought arises, I'm sad. Moments later, another arises, I'm peaceful. That I is never fixed. It changes with emotions, memories, and moods. The Buddha called this anatta, no permanent self. We are not a fixed being, but a flowing process of body and mind, like a river. No drop of water is the same as before, yet we still call it the Ganges. Our mind flows in the same way. Countless thoughts rising and fading, creating the illusion of continuity, and we call that stream me. When the body stops working, the river doesn't vanish. It simply changes direction, guided by karma, by the energy we've cultivated throughout life. Many ask, so when we die, where does the mind go? In truth, no one goes anywhere. There is only continuation, like one candle lighting another. The second flame isn't the first, yet it's not separate from it. That's why the Buddha taught, don't look for a distant realm. Look into your present mind. When the body dissolves, the mind will move toward what it has been nourished by. If you've spent life feeding anger and jealousy, your mind becomes heavy, sinking downward. If you've lived in mindfulness and compassion, your mind becomes light, naturally drawn to peaceful realms. I have seen people leave this world in panic, clutching the sheets, eyes wide open, unable to let go. And I've also seen people depart with a gentle smile, their breath soft as mist, because they train their minds in awareness all their lives. The same death, yet one ends in fear, the other in serenity. So the real question isn't, where will we go? It's, how are we living right now? Every mindful moment, every awakened breath is preparation for that final hour. The Buddha once said, one who lives with mindfulness is already learning how to die in peace. So instead of fearing death, we can start by seeing life clearly, that every breath, every ache, every joy is a lesson showing us nothing can truly be held. When we understand this, the mind becomes lighter, and death, whenever it comes, is simply another movement of the wind, not an ending at all.
To realize peace is not about becoming someone else.
Part 2. The impermanent nature of body and mind. If we pause for a moment to truly observe this body, we will see something quite extraordinary. The body we call mind is never still. Every cell in it is being born, dying, and replaced. Scientists tell us that in just a few years, nearly all the cells in our body are completely renewed. That means the body you carry today is not the same body you had 10 years ago. Yet we keep saying, this is me. In truth, it's only a continuous flow of conditions, arising, fading, and changing endlessly. Like a river. The water keeps flowing, never pausing, not even for a single instant. Still, we call it the Ganges, or the Mississippi. The name makes us believe there's something solid and lasting, but it's only a series of different drops moving together. Our body is the same way, a combination of physical elements that come together and fall apart, influenced by causes, karma, and time. A gust of cold wind, a meal, a single thought of worry, all of these shape the body. There's nothing truly I in it. The mind is no different. If you close your eyes for just a minute, you'll see countless thoughts drifting by, like clouds crossing the sky. One thought arises, another follows. Emotions of joy, sadness, fear, and hope come and go, each dissolving into the next, like frames in a film, each one separate but moving so fast that we mistake them for a continuous story. Our mind works in exactly the same way. It isn't one solid thing, but a stream of fleeting mental moments, each one arising and passing away. The Buddha taught, whatever is born will cease. No single mind state lasts forever. There is only the process of mind, each moment of thought, each breath, each awareness. So when we say I am thinking, it's really just a stream of consciousness at work. When we say I am angry, it's only the energy of anger appearing. It isn't truly me, and when conditions shift, it disappears. Think back to when you were young. The joys, the passions, the tempers of your 20s. Are they still the same now? No. They have changed. And the person you are today is already another version of you. So within this body and mind, what is truly I? When we look deeply, we see only impermanence and non-self. Nothing fixed to call me. We are like a wave on the ocean, beautiful, powerful, alive, but never separate from the water. The wave rises and falls, but the water remains. Likewise, body and mind rise and fall, yet their deeper essence, pure awareness, knowing itself, has never been lost. When we forget this truth, we suffer because we mistake the wave for all that we are. But when we remember, we smile, for we know we are the water, still and clear, no matter how high the waves rise. And when that understanding sinks into our heart, we begin to live differently. We stop clinging to a body that must stay young forever. We stop holding on to fleeting emotions. We realize that everything is changing, and within that change is the very pulse of life. This body will age. This mind will shift. But within all that movement, we can find a deep peace. The peace of one who truly understands. There is nothing to lose, for in truth, nothing was ever mine. Part 3. Karma and the continuity of consciousness. If impermanence is the nature of body and mind, then what keeps this flow from breaking apart is karma, in Pali, kama. Karma is not punishment. It's not a fixed destiny written somewhere in the sky. It's simply the power of intention, the mental energy created by our thoughts, words, and actions. The Buddha explained it clearly. It is intention that I call karma. Having intended, one acts through body, speech, and mind. Put simply, karma is the imprint that every action leaves on the mind. Like throwing a pebble into a pond, the ripples spread out and fade, yet the surface of the water is never quite the same again. In the same way, each thought we generate, whether wholesome or unwholesome, creates a vibration in the mind. Those subtle vibrations leave traces in the stream of consciousness. Over time, they form habits, character, and even the direction our life and future lives will take. Have you noticed how some people get angry easily, while others seem naturally gentle and forgiving? That's not just personality. It's the fruit of karmic seeds planted and nurtured long ago. A person who lives a life of kindness and compassion finds their mind light as a cloud when death approaches. They are not bound by regret, anger, or fear. But one who feeds resentment and hatred feels heavy even in this life, and that same energy pulls the mind toward darker realms. I once visited a hospice patient in California. An 86-year-old Vietnamese woman. She knew she was close to passing. But what struck me most was the peaceful smile on her face. She said softly, "I'm ready, teacher. I know I have tried my best to love. If I must go, I go in peace." In that moment, I understood deeply. Karma is not a book of rewards and punishments. It's the living current of the mind itself. When the mind is peaceful, karma leads us to peace. When the mind is restless, karma drags us toward darkness. That's why the Buddha didn't tell us to fear karma. He told us to understand it. Because karma is being written every second, right now, through how we live. We can't change the past, but we can steer the present. And by doing so, we shape the future. Like a person holding the rudder of a boat in a strong river. The current may be fierce, but steady hands can still change direction. When we understand karma, we stop blaming fate or pointing fingers at others. We no longer tremble at the word retribution. Because we know, each kind thought, each gentle word, each mindful action is already transforming old karma and planting new seeds for peace. Someone who listens and forgives each day is slowly changing the current of their mind. But one who clings to anger and resentment is simply tying themselves to the past. Can you see now? Karma is not outside of us. Karma is us. The way we live, the way we think, the way we love. And when this body dissolves, it's karma, the energy of our mind, that carries on. No person travels to another life. Only the imprint of mind continues, like one candle lighting another. The flame itself doesn't move, yet its light keeps spreading. When we understand this, we begin to live more carefully, not from fear but from awareness. Every breath, every thought, every act becomes a silent prayer. May I continue forward, but walk in light, not in darkness. Part 4. The moment of death and the mind's transition. Let us go deeper into a moment no one can escape, the moment of dying. When we speak of death, many people feel fear, but for one who understands the Dharma, death is not the end. It is simply a natural movement in the stream of consciousness. I have sat beside many people in their final hours, some left in fear, clutching to each breath. Others left like a falling leaf, softly, peacefully, with a faint smile before silence. The difference was never in the body, but in the mind, how that person had lived and how they had prepared for this moment. As death approaches, the five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, begin to fade. The body cools from the feet and hands. The breath grows shorter. Awareness withdraws from the outer world. In Buddhist psychology, this stage is described as bhavanga siddha, the life continuum consciousness. It is like an underground stream, flowing quietly throughout one's life. When the body weakens, this stream begins to tremble. At that time, whatever we have stored in the mind, memories, emotions, strong actions, begin to arise vividly. Buddhism calls these three signs of karma that appear near death. The first is kamma, the mental image of a deed we have done. Someone who has lived a life of kindness may see themselves helping another, feeling warmth and peace. But if one has caused harm, that image may reappear, bringing regret and fear. The second is kamma nimitta, a symbolic sign of those past deeds. For a doctor who saved lives, it might be the sight of a white coat or a radiant light surrounding the body. For someone who lived unwholesomely, it could appear as fire, darkness, or terrifying sounds. These are not punishments from any god. They are the mind revealing its own contents. The third is gati nimitta, a vision of the next destination. Some may see a bright field, a familiar face, or a peaceful landscape. Others may see darkness or frightening imagery. Then comes the final instant, the kuddhicitta, the death consciousness. It is the last moment of awareness in this life. And that consciousness does not go anywhere. It simply ceases, like a flame going out when the oil is gone. But here lies the wonder. At that very instant, a new consciousness arises, called patisandhi-siddha, the rebirth linking consciousness. It appears immediately, without any gap in between. It's like one candle lighting another. The flame doesn't travel from one to the next, but its light continues seamlessly. This is the natural continuity of cause and effect. No soul leaves the body. No self goes to another world. There is only the ongoing flow of conditions, like an electric current passing through many bulbs. One goes dark, another lights up, yet the energy keeps moving. In the ancient scriptures, the Buddha used a beautiful image, a seal pressed into wax. The seal doesn't move, but its impression remains. The new consciousness is that impression, the result of karma, not the transfer of a permanent I. When we understand this, death no longer feels like a final stop. It becomes a natural transition, as sunrise follows the night. And if in that moment, the mind is calm, clear, and free from attachment, the continuation will also be calm and clear. That is why the Buddha taught, what matters most is not how we will die, but how we are living now. If we live with mindfulness, each breath becomes peace, each act becomes goodness, then even death itself is nothing more than a longer breath.
Yes.
Part 5.
Yes.
The middle way. No soul, no nothingness. There's one question many people have asked me. Teacher, if there is no soul, then who is it that gets reborn after death?
Even after we've learned,
It sounds like a reasonable question. Since childhood, we've been taught to believe that somewhere inside us lives a real, unchanging self. A soul, a permanent identity. But the Buddha, seeing deeply into the roots of existence, showed that this very idea of a fixed I is the source of all suffering. He called his insight the middle way, Majjhima Patipada, the path between two extremes. On one side is eternalism, the belief that there is an eternal soul that never dies. On the other is annihilationism, the belief that death is complete extinction, that everything ends forever. Both views, the Buddha said, are mistaken. Both are forms of attachment, one clinging to the idea of a permanent I, the other to the idea of nothing at all. The Buddha simply smiled and said, there is no self to exist. and there is nothing to be destroyed. Can you feel the freedom in that? It is a freedom beyond life and death, beyond having or not having, beyond fear and grasping. To understand this, imagine a wave on the ocean. When the wave dissolves, it doesn't die. It simply returns to the water. The wave is form. The water is essence. The wave rises, the wave falls, but the water remains water. Our body and mind are the same. The body ends. The mind ends. But the knowing, the pure awareness, has never been lost. When there is no longer a me clinging to body and mind, what remains is utter stillness, nibbana, the highest peace. Once someone asked the Buddha, when an enlightened one passes away, does he still exist or not? The Buddha replied, that question cannot be answered by yes or no. When a flame goes out because the fuel is spent, can you say where it is gone? Such a simple, yet profound truth. The flame doesn't travel anywhere. It merely ceases because conditions have ended. In the same way, an enlightened being does not vanish. They are simply free from all conditions of birth and death. In daily life, when we understand the middle way, we begin to live differently. We no longer run from death, but we no longer cling to life either. We cherish every moment, yet we don't fear when it passes. I once met an American man who had been meditating at the temple for 10 years. He told me, before I was terrified of death, but now I see, I wasn't afraid of dying, I was afraid of losing me. And once I saw that me is only a stream of sensations, what is there to lose? He said this with a gentle smile, his eyes clear like autumn water. That is the freedom of the middle way, a mind no longer pulled to either side. Not believing in an eternal soul, not falling into the despair of nothingness, just seeing clearly the law of reality. All things arise from causes and conditions. When the causes end, they cease. No one is born, no one dies. And in that seeing we find peace right here and now, because there is nothing left to lose and nothing left to hold on to. The Buddha called this the stillness of understanding, a state beyond yes or no, beyond existence or non-existence, where only clarity remains. Those who have meditated deeply may have touched this themselves. That moment when the mind is utterly quiet, no I, no other, only pure awareness, silent yet radiant, empty yet full. This is the middle way in motion, not in the future, not in some afterlife, but in each mindful breath of this very moment. When we truly see this, birth is not cause for joy, and death is not cause for sorrow. They are simply two sides of the same mirror. And in that mirror, we see only the reflection of what is, clear, timeless, and free. Part 6, Different Paths, One Truth, Theravāda and Tibetan Perspectives. When the Buddha entered nirvana, his teachings spread across Asia, crossing lands, cultures, and languages. From these journeys, many traditions blossomed. What's truly remarkable is that despite their differences, they all share the same root, the path to liberation from suffering, and the direct seeing of life's impermanence, non-self, and interdependence. Yet when it comes to the question, after death, where does the mind go? Each tradition offers its own map of that mysterious passage. The Theravāda tradition, the unbroken stream. In Theravāda Buddhism, preserved in countries like Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, the fundamental view is this: there is no intermediate state between two lives. When the final breath fades, the kuti-siddha, the consciousness of death, ceases. And immediately, a new consciousness arises, called padasandhi-siddha, in a new realm of existence. No soul leaves the body. No wandering ghost drifts in between. Like one lamp lighting another, only the energy of causes and conditions continues. A wise practitioner does not fear where they will go, for they understand the next destination reflects the state of the mind at the moment of death. If the mind is bright, the realm is bright. If the mind is heavy, the realm is shadowed. That is why, in the Theravāda tradition, maintaining mindfulness at the time of dying is considered profoundly important. Monks often sit beside the dying, chanting softly, reminding them of wholesome deeds, helping the mind turn toward light. There is no in-between, only the immediate continuation of karmic momentum. The Tibetan tradition, the journey through the bardo. But high in the Himalayas, within Tibetan Buddhism, a branch of the Mahayana and Vajrayana paths, a different idea is taught. The bardo. Bardo means the in-between. It refers to the transitional state between death and rebirth. According to this teaching, when a person dies, their consciousness does not immediately take new birth. It passes through a stage lasting up to 49 days. During this period, the person has no physical body, but still carries a subtle body and mind. They experience visions, sounds, and lights, all projected by their own consciousness. If, during life, they cultivated mindfulness and meditation, they may recognize these visions as mere reflections of their own mind. And if awareness remains clear in this bardo, liberation can occur right there, without further rebirth. That is why, in Tibetan culture, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is recited for the departed, a detailed guide to help the consciousness remain awake during its final journey. Though this may sound mystical, its essence still carries the spirit of the Buddha. There is no eternal soul, only the ongoing stream of cause and effect, and liberation is found in mindfulness and awareness. Many paths, one mountain. People often ask me, "Teacher, which one is correct?" I always smile and say, it's like different paths leading up the same mountain. Theravāda says there is no interval. Tibetan Buddhism says there is an interval. But both point to the same truth. The mind is a continuous stream. Karma is the guiding force. And liberation arises when we realize there is no I to be born and no I to die. Just as rivers may take different courses, some flowing straight to the sea, others winding through forests, all eventually return to the same ocean. Each tradition is a language of compassion and wisdom, shaped by the culture and hearts of its people. When we understand this, we stop arguing over right and wrong. We begin to see one truth shining through many windows. And in that light, we learn something deeply important. No matter which path we follow, death is not something to fear. It is a natural part of the spiritual journey, a sacred passage where we continue to learn, to love, and to awaken. Part 7. The power of the present moment, creating new karma, creating a new future. When we have walked through all the ideas of body and mind, of birth and death, we arrive at something simple, yet profoundly deep. Everything begins in this very moment. Right here, right now, we are writing the next page of our life and planting seeds for the lives yet to come. The Buddha taught, no one can purify your karma for you. Only you can, through understanding, mindfulness, and wholesome action. Every thought, every word, every deed is a seed dropped into the soil of the mind. If we plant seeds of kindness, we will harvest flowers of peace. If we plant seeds of anger, we will harvest thorns of suffering. The universe does not take sides. It simply mirrors back what we give to it. Do you remember your younger days? How easily we used to get upset, lose patience, or feel discouraged? And as we grow older, we begin to see those bursts of anger never brought peace. They only made the heart heavier. An old friend once told me, "Teacher, at this age I've realized something. Happiness is not about getting more, it's about letting go." How true that is. Letting go of one harsh word, one bitter thought, is already planting a new seed of goodness. The Buddha said, even if old karma is strong, a bright present mind can transform it. It's like tending a garden. The soil may be dry and rough, but if we care for it today, if we water it, flowers will still bloom. Each morning when we wake up, we can gently ask ourselves, what seed will I plant today? A smile, a thank you, a small act of help for another. Tiny things perhaps, but each one shapes our future, each one turns the wheel of karma toward light. We don't have to wait until death to prepare. Death is simply the mirror that reflects how we have lived. If our life has been bright, our parting will also be bright. Many believe karma is fixed, like a sentence already written. But truly, karma is like a river, always flowing, always able to change direction. If today we understand, if we love, if we let go, the current shifts. And through this practice, we realize something deeper. Mindful living is not just spiritual training, it is the art of happiness. It keeps us awake in small moments, washing a dish, walking a path, speaking a word. Each action becomes a rose blooming in the present. When we live like this, death no longer frightens us, because we've already died many times. Died to anger, died to ego, so that something purer may be born within. A Zen master once said, "One who lives beautifully each day is the one who has prepared for a beautiful death." So to understand karma is not to be afraid of it, but to live with more responsibility and more freedom. Freedom, because we see that the future is not locked. It is opening with every breath. Responsibility, because we know that we ourselves are painting the picture of our own life. Like an artist, each stroke of the brush today shapes the masterpiece of tomorrow. If we paint with compassion, with understanding, with calm, then no matter how stormy life becomes, the canvas will still glow with light. That is the spirit of the Buddha's teaching. Not to escape, not to beg for rescue, but to understand, to love, to act, and to let go. And when we can live this way, even in this single moment, we have already stepped onto the path of liberation. Conclusion. When we understand death, we learn how to live. We have walked together on a long journey, from the question, when the body dies, where does the mind go? To the realization that death is not an ending. This body is impermanent. This mind is impermanent too. Everything is a continuous flow of causes and conditions, a river of karma and interdependence. No one truly goes anywhere. There is only the ongoing stream of cause and effect, like the light of one candle passing to the next. And within that stream, a peaceful mind will always find its way to a peaceful realm. We have spoken about karma, about how every thought, every word, every action is shaping the direction of our mind. No one judges us but ourselves. There is no divine hand deciding our fate, only our own intentions writing the future. When the final breath comes, what matters is not where we will go, but where our mind is. If the mind is bright, we walk in light. If the mind is heavy, we move in shadow. The Buddha taught, death is simply the change of conditions. No one is truly born, no one truly dies. I believe that one who understands this will no longer be afraid. For when we understand death, we also learn the art of living. To live is to prepare to let go. To die is simply another form of living. Both require awareness, gentleness, and love. Have you ever felt this yourself? That each passing day is a chance to live more deeply, to understand more clearly, to love more fully? Can you see that each thank you, each hug, each small act of kindness is helping to beautify this very life? In the end, we always return to the present moment, the place where everything begins, where each breath is a miracle, where gratitude itself can heal fear. Look around you right now. Is there something you can be thankful for today? A loved one? A memory? A warm breath still moving through your chest? I believe that when we live in gratitude, we are also learning how to die in peace. Because one who is truly grateful has nothing left to fear losing. Thank you for listening, for walking beside me on this journey. Thank you for taking the time to look inward and to open your heart to what lies beyond appearances. If this reflection touched you, I would love to hear your thoughts. What did you learn from this journey? Have you ever had a moment that changed how you see death? Please share it. Your story might help someone else find light in their darkness. And if these teachings have been meaningful to you, please subscribe to Son.Mindfulness. Together, let us nurture a calm heart, plant seeds of compassion, and learn to live deeply in this impermanent world. I wish you good health, peace, and happiness. May you, through every season of change, keep the lamp of your heart shining bright. Truly, thank you.